Power on. Bluetooth pairing. Bluetooth connected.
Hey man, what's up?
Old Spice Gentleman Super Hydration Body Wash with 24/7 moisturization and vitamin B3.
This season, our new Nate and Jeremiah collection for living spaces is an updated, well-traveled take on coastal living.
Designed to mix and match easily with pieces you already own. You can elevate your home.
How's it going, everybody? I'm doing some light boxing so I can have some pencils ready, but once I get through the commercials on YouTube, yep, exactly. Well, thanks, Massive Panda. I appreciate that. I've got a lot more Savage Dragon that's coming. I found my stash of all those books. I mean, I've got them all, but I've been looking for the first issues, and I found them all. So I'm going to be looking at quite a bit of them. I would like to get my hands on some more Jason Pearson stuff because he's really good. Hey, Chuck, what's up? What is up? There's Mr. Chuck Gibson, everybody. I know, D-Man. Shadowhawk and Vampirella. That book was that was something. They were trying. That cover was pretty awesome, but the rest of it was just okay. Yeah, that cover by Tex is just, it literally, like I was saying in the video, was kind of the selling point. I didn't want to be that guy to like open up the comic bag in the store. Some, like I said, some stores get pissy about it. I'm like, oh, wouldn't this be great if the entire thing was drawn by Tex? That would be amazing. Oh wow. Looks like I might have to just go seek out some Penthouse Comics art by Tex. Yeah, you're right, Chuck. I normally I kind of don't care, but in that day, I was just kind of, I don't know. I've been struggling with this comic shop because they can't seem to get my holds in my damn book, or my damn books in my holds. And I was having a little bit of an uncomfortable conversation with them earlier in that visit. I'm like, guys, why am I not getting anything I ask for? What is the point of me coming here? This comic shop can't be making a lot of money, and you offer to hold comics for me, but you never put them in my fucking hold. So why am I coming here? Riley, thank you for saying I'm so good at drawing. I mean, I appreciate that. Thank you very much. I agree, Margaret. Right, X-Men 97. It's a pretty damn entertaining show. I feel like there was maybe some potential with the character. I don't know that Valentino's heart was in it. It was just like I was saying, it feels like a response to the era, and I feel like he tried. He tried to make him interesting. He really went for it, but excuse me. Well, thanks, Massive Panda. I'm always struggling with the muscular anatomy. It's one of those tricky things where, I mean, you don't have to know a flawless anatomy to be an interesting comic artist. You got to kind of know the basics of it, and then, but if the energy and dynamic kind of page layouts are there and the storytelling's clear, um, doesn't have to be perfect anatomy, but still learning how to twist it the way you want it to. It's always a challenge.
bowls are here at Cafe Rio with new toppings like avocado corn salsa, roasted veggies, and elotes.
Elotes. Yeah, I agree with you on that, Chuck. Leave your politics out of the entertainment. And I've mentioned it. I'm probably done, for example, collecting Savage Dragon because one, my local comic shop can't seem to get it for me, but it's given me excuse to drop it because the Mr. Eric Larson can't seem to leave his politics out of his social media, and it just starts pissing me off. So I'm like, all right, I'll just stop collecting your book. I've been collecting it since issue 1, but if he just stopped interjecting his politics into everything, it's his book. He can do what he wants, but I guess he doesn't need me as a reader. Yeah, that is a good point. This is a Beast Man stabbing and like digging his claws into the ribs of He-Man there. He-Man's getting really, really screwed up in this fight. He may not survive. Or maybe he will. Eric started phoning in a long time ago. I don't know. He certainly changed up his art style to be a lot looser, but I don't know. It's more of the stories that are not as interesting as they used to be in the book for me. I'm not so concerned about his art, but those stories are just not as entertaining as they used to be. Oh well, whatever. We'll see. You had me stop there for a minute, Chuck. I was like, wait, what? Like you really threw me for a loop. Like, wait a minute. I've been looking to get to some of these big. Now I'm in the big action scene there, Mr. Chuck, and these are going to be a lot more fun if that's now that we're past all that ridiculous shit I was working on in those earlier scenes, all that romance and shit. Now we're going to see some blood and guts. See, Mark Riddell, you say anything with Dragon? Yes, your take. It was his vanity project with little white appeal. I don't know if I agree with that. I mean, the way it started, it was a great superhero comic with all the kind of the tropes of superheroes. But Eric Larson, in my opinion, spun it in directions that you've never seen or expected, and um, he made some of the most entertaining. He made what is for me the most entertaining superhero comic I've ever read on a consistent basis for the most consistent length of time. Like I was saying, it is not as entertaining as it used to be. But I don't know how you maintain the same interest for 300 plus issues. But when it started, I still argue to this day that it's one of the best superhero comics ever made, and certainly the best Image comics. Those first 75 issues of Dragon, I think, are fantastic. And for those who watch my channel, I mean, you're going to get to see a lot of that because I really want to get into them. Maybe we'll see if it holds up. Fatal J, man, what is up? Are you asking me if I see more traffic with vertical streams? See, people ask me that, like vertical streams, like on with if you're asking like the way that I orient these things, you say vertical streams. I mean, if you're talking about the way that I have the camera oriented for the live stream, this is the default that it allows me to do. Like when I turn on the YouTube thing, it tells me that this is the only way it's allowed to be oriented, if that's what you're getting at. Oh yeah, Fatal J. One of my favorite Image Comics original first wave. It's Dragon by far, and it was the one I was least interested in when they announced everything. Maybe Shadowhawk was the one I was least interested, honestly, but I was kind of indifferent to it. But when I read Savage Dragon, the first issue, I went to my older brother and I handed it to him like, "Holy shit, read this! This is so much better than any of the others." And for me, it maintained that for a long time. Not anymore. Chuck says Dragon became bait and switch. Spawn 2. Yeah. Chuck, when you say Larson Spider-Man with the Sinister Six was better than the Dragon, do you mean like the art or just everything? Because yeah, Larson had a cleaner style. He definitely got more sketchy and rough in his work. Again, it didn't bother me, but it definitely was a little different. Yeah, Fatal J, man, he's got a good channel going over all kinds of stuff. He does the Dark Council. Yeah, Chuck, you liked his art better, a lot cleaner, a lot tighter. Yeah, it was kind of irrelevant to me because I still felt like the storytelling was tight enough, and I was into it, obviously, like in a big way. All right, I think I got enough of the basics down here. I can move off the art or the light box. All right. Fatal J, what did I think about Wills Protasio's Wetworks? I'll tell you what I thought. The premise that seemed to be that the book was sold on was not what was in the book. I think Protasio's just got a weird sense of what he wants to draw and what his stories are. The idea seemed amazing. His art's incredible. Like it's never not awesome. But he thought like I can tell you the basic story of all the beginning Wildcats or Spawns or Youngbloods or Dragons. I couldn't tell you what's going on in the first 5 or 6 issue of Wetworks. I just have no idea besides good art. I met him at a local comic convention a couple years ago. A real nice guy. But yeah, like Massive Panda saying, it's like I can't remember anything from it. Like what the hell happened into it? They were like a badass team of soldiers, and they get the golden goo, and then they become superhumans with the golden goo, and they fight the weirdest looking vampires and werewolves ever seen in a comic book. And then the golden goo starts changing them. I know, Chuck. They were metal guys fighting monsters. I know, but it just, I don't know. I did feel like there was a direction of it on it. I don't know. I wanted to like it, and artistically, it's still like I'm just repeating myself. So solid. Like, who draws better, big, thick, round, awesome muscles than Will Spartasio? Like, that looks so good, but I couldn't tell you what the premise was or the story besides golden guys fight monsters. Fatal J, who do you think was the best second wave from Image, Michael Turner or Jay Scott? Wow. I personally think that they're basically kind of even in my mind. Different guys with different art styles, but kind of known for the same thing. They are both known for primarily drawing their hot girls, but I think they're both really good at everything. Like, Michael Turner could draw it all. Backgrounds and cars and monsters and everything, and so could J. Scott Campbell. So I don't know. Michael Turner's death was really sad. I really feel like that guy. I think his birthday was just in the last couple days, but that guy was going to have such a big comics career. But cancer. You say, yeah. Chuck says probably Campbell. Yeah, I mean, that guy's. I'm going to throw out a reason to suggest why maybe Michael Turner might have been better, and this is all purely subjective. I have the feeling, and there's no way to know this, I have the feeling that Michael Turner would have kept drawing comics, not just covers, as opposed to J. Scott Campbell, who doesn't seem interested in drawing comics anymore. He just wants to do covers, which is fine. Man can do what he wants, but just purely speculative bullshit on my part. But I feel like Michael Turner wanted to keep drawing comics. What's up, Grant? Grant Lankard? Hey, yo. Thanks, Grant. Thanks for watching my stuff. I know you do. Massive Panda, I do remember that. The Wonder Woman draw off between Michael Turner and Joe Mad and Wizard. I see what you're saying, Chuck. If Campbell, if he just draws covers, he can help Marvel sell several books instead of just one. His original art customers are happier. Like, I get that, but I feel like guys who want to draw comics have like a story they want to tell. And I understand there's only so much time in a day, but I just feel like if he had a story he wanted to tell anymore, he would want to draw a comic. He would want to do it. And he doesn't. So I don't know. I just hate it when there's so many of these artists out there that I love so much and they don't draw comic books. At least we got something out of Mark Silvestri recently. That's fair, Chuck. I mean, I just think the audience would show up for Campbell if he would draw a book. Yeah, Massive Panda. Yeah, Turner's Wonder Woman and that wizard thing was like elegant, but Joe Mads looked badass, like a warrior. So yeah, I agree with you. And Fatal J, I agree. I think Danger Girl. I'm going to be doing the final issue of that series for my channel here soon, the issue 7. But I felt like it was perfect beginning to end. Like everything about that run on Danger Girl that Campbell did, it was just the most perfect balance of everything. And that final issue was such a great like end to that story. It was so fun. Massive Panda Soul Saga. I am 100% on board with that series. I was never a huge Platt fan before that, but I was into Soul Saga really big. Another one of those that just kind of like ended. We were all left to wonder, well, what the hell happened? Where did it go? Because I guess he got bored of his own book or whatever the case was. I was going to say that too, Chuck. I was going to say if Campbell wanted to do a crowdfunder, I bet he would blow it out of the water. Tons of money being made. I've thought that, yeah. You know, and if he was like, I'm going to do a Danger Girl something. I mean, it could be whatever he wanted to, but you know, Danger Girl's kind of that thing that he's known for. It's kind of like didn't Joe Mad's Kickstarter for that issue of Battle Chasers that he didn't even draw? Didn't that do really well? Grant, why am I darkening it in? It just helps me to see the art better. You know, I could put an X there, but I like to be able to visualize it better by darkening it in, so I can just see the composition overall a little better. I know I don't need to, but it helps my eye. You know. Who's another artist that's out there that's maybe not drawing comics that you just know that if they would do a Kickstarter, that they would probably just pull in huge amount of money? I've said forever that if McFarlane decided to draw a Spawn Spider-Man crossover, that thing would just be huge, huge numbers. Probably the biggest numbers comics have seen in years. If he decided he wanted to go that route. Silvestri, I think you're right. But again, it's all hinging on them drawing the book, right? Because I know Silvestri, they do a bunch of Kickstarters to reprint copies of their old books. I guess they're doing was it a Darkness or a Witchblade revamp currently? It seems to be doing well, but Silvestri would also be like, what would the book be that he could draw for a Kickstarter that would pull in an audience again? Someone's saying, hell yeah.
here at Cafe Rio with new toppings like avocado corn salsa, roasted veggies, and elotes. Get yours today.
Grant, if you're asking me, did I like Mark's Batman Joker comic? I did. I'm a little mad at it because my comic shop screwed it up and only got me every other issue, so I haven't even seen the final version of it. The thing I'm most frustrated at is that I found out that they released a artist edition, black and white artwork, but like in France, and it sold out instantly. And I was never even aware that it existed, and I want that so bad. I want that black and white artist edition of Silvestri's work. I think it looked amazing. I still kind of prefer someone else inking him rather than himself. That sketchy look looks great, but it's not my favorite version of him. So yeah, I got to get a collection of that Batman Joker book so I can actually read the entire story and know what the hell happened. But it wasn't my favorite version of Silvestri's artwork. It's up there. Maybe second best, but after the Dan Green inked stuff in Wolverine. Yeah. And I was saying this recently. I actually should ask Chuck this if he has any knowledge, but I was curious as to why Silvestri didn't bring Dan Green with him to Image. Because it seemed like Dan Green inking Silvestri was a system that was working really well. I wonder why they just didn't say, hey, come with me. Because then suddenly Scott Williams was inking all of Silvestri's stuff, which is certainly fine. Alpha Chandler, you're asking, wasn't Silvestri surprised by the offer? I think so. The story seems to go that they ran into Silvestri at like a convention or something, and like they offered him an opportunity to go with them. Massive Panda, you were saying, were they actually inks that were sketchy, or did he do the thing where the artist darkened the pencil lines in Photoshop? I've seen pictures of his own hand holding a pen, I think it was a Copic multi-liner, inking the pages. And so, as far as I know, they were just really thin, sketchy lines. But there were a couple panels where it really felt like this could be just pencil. Yeah, you're right, Fatal J. Sylvester's got $1 million hands. But you'd think if they'd give him the right project, he could. I mean, he could do anything and probably make it work. I just don't know what my dream gig for Silvestri would be. Like, if you were to ask me, like Jim Lee used to be my most favorite artist, and he's still one of my favorite artists. But if you were asking me what is the dream gig I would love for Jim Lee to do, like, I know it sounds dumb to some people, but I want him to see him do X-Men again. Like, I would buy that shit in a heartbeat. I think that shit would sell so fast, so hard. But I don't know what my dream gig for Silvestri would be. Like, if we could give Silvestri anything that he wanted to do, or we could force him to do it, what would be the dream thing for him to do again? Or at all? I don't know. I'm not interested in the darkness that much, honestly. I mean, the darkness to me is kind of not a concept that sustains. I don't know. I just don't care about the darkness. I would read a Silvestri drawn Witchblade every day. That's a good one. Because for no other reason than Silvestri's female figure work is just, yeah. I mean, don't get me wrong, Fatal J. The art would be amazing. It's just more of the character that I don't. I feel like I've seen everything about the darkness that I could possibly ever see, and I got so sick of those stupid little quote unquote funny little goblin things. I'm like, oh, this is not funny, guys. I was kind of over it pretty quick. But I just kept getting it for the art because they kept putting really good artists on it. I don't know, D man. I still want to see. I want to see Jim Lee do it. I don't think Jim Lee's interested in any of that stuff, and he could command whatever version of the team he wants to do. Massive Panda, the Superman Unchained. Is that big 12-issue long series? It was supposed to be kind of like he did his Batman Hush, now his Superman Unchained. Is that who wrote that? If it's the series I'm thinking of, yeah. But yeah, Jim Lee is a DC guy. Never felt. Yeah, I've never been on board with it. Like he keeps drawing and doing covers and occasional books, and it all looks great. I just don't care about DC characters, so I'm just kind of. Silvestri doing a Wolverine solo book. I'd pick that up in a second. An R-rated Witchblade movie by Sydney Sweeney as the lead. Somebody make that. All right, D-Man, sold.
These might look like some delicious tacos. Are they being made?
Alpha Channel. Jim Lee's Women of Marvel Adventures. That's fun. That's a funny idea.
Only using insects. Check out the full video live on my channel now.
Yeah, you're right, Fatal J. The way Jim Lee's set up at DC, he'll never draw a Marvel book again. He can't. He'd have to quit DC 100%. And then I'm sure Marvel would be stupid to not let him come back. I'm sure they would, but Onion, Savoya, nobody will ever stop Rob Liefeld. Yeah, unfortunately, you're right. You are 100% correct, unfortunately. Yeah, Mark, there's that, like, it's in theory going to be made an Evangeline movie, which, whatever. Don't know how good that can be, but we'll find out. But I'm not holding my breath. Fatal J, what is the best Liefeld book in my opinion? I talk about this on my channel. Um, Artistic flaws aside, I mean, regardless of them, I find his last few issues of New Mutants and those first few issues of X Force to be the best thing. It was because he was inking himself with the dip pens and not these, not the technical pens like the microns and stuff. Speaking of art, artistically, I think that's Liefeld's best stuff. It just looked best that way. And then once he jumped over to Image and started having other guys ink him, his work just didn't look the same. I like Liefeld's line, his inks with that Hunt 102. It legitimately looks really good. There's something unique about it. And he had the good fortune of also, I still like the stories in those X Force books too. But the X Force stuff had the fortune of just being part of a franchise that was running. And he happened to pick up some characters that were failing, but he basically had a whole bunch of concepts and toys and momentum already in play. He just directed it into a direction, a way that made it successful. It just didn't work once he started writing his own stuff because then it became a mess. Yeah, you're right, Fatal J. Liefeld got famous when he was young during the boom and never improved. 100%. Alpha Channel, he made New Mutants fun. Absolutely. There's no denying that. 100% true. And Mark Riddell, I agree. His work with colors on glossy paper most of the time, I don't think it's as interesting. More that old, rough newsprint paper and flat colors is what makes Liefeld's stuff look best. I didn't come up with that on my own. Someone else suggested it to. I don't know who it was, but once they said that, I was like, "Oh my god, you're right. Yes, that's the better version." He's not my arch nemesis. I don't care. It's just fun to look at his work when you're just trying to critique something and to be like, "What the hell is he doing? Did he lose his mind?" Yeah, if you look at Liefeld's original stuff, he actually put in some thought and effort into like backgrounds and stuff. But then he just quit doing it because everyone kept buying it. And he's like, "Oh, I don't need that. Backgrounds are for suckers." So we do it a little bit here and there. But now he literally doesn't do it at all. Yeah, I'll have to be getting into the Youngblood series, the second wave Youngblood series soon. Hey, Chuck Gibson, I got a question for you. If you happen to have any kind of thought or insight on this, if you just happen to know, I know you had to step away for a minute, but we were talking about artists and all that stuff, and Mark Silvestri came up, and Dan Green inking him, and I was wondering why maybe Mark Silvestri didn't bring Dan Green with him over to Image Comics if they were such a successful pairing. I was thinking about that recently. I'm like, why wouldn't they do that? I just wondered if you had any thought on maybe why Dan Green maybe didn't come with Silvestri over to Image. I'm not gonna like the answer. Did they not get along? Did Silvestri maybe not think that the way that their work looked together was the best version? Because I know that Scott Williams ended up inking most of Silvestri's Cyberforce stuff, and I get it. Now I'm waiting with bated breath, Chuck. I'm like, oh my God.
And a little thing I love about the Chick-fil-A chicken strips is dipping them. The chicken strip is a savor.
That's so weird. It's so interesting. I was hoping that the cartoonist kayfabe guys would have got a chance to interview Dan Green while he was still alive, because they always talked about how much of a fan of his work they were. I'm like, God, I would love to hear an interview with him, but that never happened. That's unfortunate if that's what Silvestri, if that's his kind of vibe, if he kind of wanted something different from the look he was going for, because man, did that stuff just. But I get it, you have an idea in your head of what you want it to look like, and I don't know. Well, if that's the case, that's fair. Yeah, there's not a lot of pencilers and inkers that can bi-weekly zone and keep up. Yeah, who out there can do that? I mean, John Romita Jr., that bi-weekly, that's got to be a grind. That makes sense. I just feel like Silvestri's work looked better with a heavier shadow kind of Mike Mignola kind of vibe that a lot of those early issues, or not early, but yeah, some of those earlier issues of that Wolverine run had. Just the heavier shadows. I just feel like that looked so good. Like, it's making me want to dig out my essentials, but man, this stuff looks so good. That crowd shot right there. I mean, yeah. I keep this book right next to my drawing table at all times, anytime I need inspiration. Yeah, and he says that he was trying to do the Jim Lee style because that's what the kids were into. Yeah, you got your copy within arm's reach too. Oh God, it's just. I mean, I wonder if there's even stuff that they drew, like if they thought like these kind of scratchy lines right here were not their favorite thing, but then somehow to us it just looks great. But these heavy shadow, chunky shapes in the figure, it's so good. It's like it's all about the composition and shapes. I gotta set this aside. I'll stare at it all day, which is not a bad thing, but I got penciling to get done. That's terrible. That's a good point, Chuck. You suspect there's a great deal of stuff that we've seen in comics and accepted as the way it is. That's only became that way by accident. That makes sense. Like artists finding ways to kind of quote unquote cut corners to get things done. And then we look at it and go, oh my God, it's amazing. But the artists themselves probably look at it and go, oh my God, it's so terrible. I've heard a lot of artists say that, where they say that they don't like this or that thing about a book they did or a story they did. And then I'm looking at it going, man, I wouldn't change a thing. It's perfect the way it is. What are you guys talking about? It's that weird thing about art. My mommy says I'm good. So I know that I am because my mommy told me I'm good. Costumes, especially, there are drawing devices artists use to keep the figure looking right, and I suspect were inked in by accident that became part of the costume. That's interesting. Oh, that's interesting. Superman's symbol. That's certainly a. I've said this before. I find like Superman's S symbol to be one of the hardest things to draw to look right. I can never do it without looking at something for reference. I'm like, God damn it! What are these little two fish passing each other by? What the hell's that damn thing look like? Son of a bitch! Well, that's interesting, Chuck. Shorthand shape to block in the chest and upper body and keep things aligned the way they should be. The diamond shape. Such a perfect design. That whole Superman costume. I've been listening to the John Williams score to the first Superman movie the last couple of days, and holy Lord, is that good? And it makes me like, God damn it, I got to watch that Superman movie. Christopher Reeve was so perfect. I know I'm already biased, but I doubt there'll ever be a better Superman for me than Christopher Reeve. Holy Lord, is that just? I love that movie unabashedly. It's just perfect. Yeah, every John Williams score is good. Yeah, I know, for real. I was listening to the Empire Strikes Back soundtrack. Then I moved on to Superman. Then I just like, God, John Williams did everything that's magical. You name a score with an identifiable theme. So Star Wars, Superman, Indiana Jones, Jaws, E.T. You should do a video about it, Chuck. I am anxious to see more instructional videos on your channel because you got knowledge of all kinds of stuff that we all need to share in. That's what they are, D-Man, that Superman symbol. They're two little fishy things passing each other. I didn't come up with that. I think, what did John Byrne kind of come up with that kind of way of describing it, I think? But it's got to be done in exactly a specific way for it to look right, in my opinion. And it's tricky. I'll challenge myself occasionally to just try and draw it from memory, just to see if I'm getting any closer, and I never ever do. Yeah, there you go, Chuck. Yeah, Burns said it, and it stuck. I mean, it works when you look at them like that. You're like, oh, all right, yeah, they're two little fishy things. Oh, you don't like Danny Elfman scores? Oh, Chuck. Some of them I'm not a big fan of, but man, when he nails them right, I love the original Batman '89 score, and I can listen to The Nightmare Before Christmas nonstop and love it every time. James Horner was one of my favorite composers for the longest time with Aliens and the Star Trek movies. James Horner was amazing. It sucks that he passed along. Braveheart. I've never paid attention to the score to Kick-Ass. That's funny. I wonder if we'll ever get another John Williams score to anything. I think he retired, but what more could he possibly add to the universe? But man, is that guy magical. not a banned account, so it's a Masters of the Universe fan comic that I've been working on for a long time. Got a whole shit ton of pages and several books on it, and I'm working towards the finale, and that's what I'm working on. Just a fan comic. You always think of the original cartoon Spider-Man song, like that one where they're singing Spider-Man, Spider-Man does whatever a spider can. Can he swing from a web? No, he can't. He's a pig. Look out. He is a spider pig. Does whatever. Yeah. I wasn't a huge fan of the Raimi Spider-Man movies. I mean, I liked them, but I wasn't as blown away by everybody. But then several years passed, and then I was listening to the score to those Raimi Spider-Man movies, and I was like, oh, I actually kind of am digging this. I think maybe I liked it better than I thought that I did. Love use of Spider Pig. Man, that's one of my favorite things. I'll be singing Spider Pig forever. Spider Pig, Spider Pig. Because Homer Simpson's just us. D-Man, I had never watched a Speed Racer movie. I have no interest in Speed Racer. Not anything I give a crap about at all. And I heard it didn't do well, so I don't feel like I missed anything. So no one's ever accused me of being a Rob Liefeld. Yeah, D-Man, them Wachowski sisters. I don't know about that, Chuck. I'm bored says, nice heart. How long have you been drawing for? I mean, I started drawing when I was a teenager, 14 or 15, which I've talked about before. Is like, I feel like I got started late. Everyone who I know that was drawing since they could hold a pencil. And that actually wasn't me. I started drawing, like, discovered I liked comic books and started drawing them a lot later in life. So what if Norton is just a pseudonym for Liefeld? Yeah, no. What do you mean that bottom panel is suspect? Steal traditional art? He's stabbing him. So there is some intimacy and some penetration. So there's screaming orgasm faces, penetration, and fluids being exchanged. So I guess you could say it's intimate. Maybe not sexual, but intimate, yes. Let's get it on. Look, I'm sorry to disappoint some people out there, but in my comic, which is not mine, these are characters that are already established, but men like women, and women like men, because that's the characters that were created. All comics are male homoerotica. That's I remember when somebody pointed out to me that that the original Top Gun was just a bunch of like homoerotic imagery, and I'm like, no, it's not. Shut up. What are you talking about? These are just dudes in with no shirts on, greased up, playing volleyball together. There's no. And then I was like, oh well, maybe a little, but it's okay. I'm okay with it. They still flew jets. Step away from the pipe, not banned. Yeah, it's the room is spinning. Woo! Yeah, Liefeld does talk fast, doesn't he? He's a he's a chatterbox. That's okay. You ever seen the show Shameless? Those dudes would start out fighting and wrestling, and whoever was on top at the end was on top, I guess, like violent foreplay. That's a good title for a comic book, Violent Foreplay. We'll make an adult comic with lots of butts and boobs and blood, and we'll kickstart it, and we'll sell 100,000 copies. Did you get the new issue of Violent Foreplay? Yeah, I did. They did some freaky shit. Violent Foreplay Studios, right? Oh. Is anybody out there watching Shogun? I really want to talk to Jessica about it. She's like not available, but I was wondering if anybody who was watching it, what they thought of the series finale. Um, it was really good, but certainly not what I was expecting. That was a fun show, but it ended in like, man, I was not expecting that. Yeah, it was a good show. It had some moments where it was a little slower, but I mean, I don't know. It's one of those shows where I feel like you really got invested in the characters, and we're like, man, how is this going to end? Where are they going to go with this? Really well done. Really respectful to Japanese culture. They went out of their way to get everything as like technically accurate as they could make it and authentic, and it really shows. I think it's worthwhile for anybody who's interested. And it's one season, from what I'm told, and I appreciate the hell out of this, is that they're just basing it on the book. There's only one book, and they covered the entire book, and so it's done and it's over. Rather than trying to make up shit that's different from the original author's vision.
Some to-dos show up unexpectedly. That can help you cross off each one easier.
Well, yeah, I mean, they say that, then it was really popular, so they're like, we got to keep milking it. So we'll see if they stick to their, if they have the courage of their own convictions. They're probably like, oh my God, it was so successful. We got to keep it going. Then they'll run it into the ground. Yeah, Chuck, I dug all those books out recently, and I forgot how many there were. I collected them all. There was a massive stack of those Watchmen books, and they were unnecessary, but a couple of them were, I think, pretty good. I mean, they sprung for the talent. I mean, they had everybody. They dropped a lot of money on that Watchmen stuff. Superman, at least some version of Superman, supposed to be going to public domain in the upcoming years. Yeah, you're right, Chuck. I don't know if I'd mess with any public domain stuff that's something that's still originally owned by a big corporate company like DC or Warner Brothers. I wouldn't mess with that. Doomsday +1. What? I'm missing part of the conversation. Excuse me. Excuse me. Good Lord. At first, I was kind of interested in James Gunn's upcoming DC stuff, but it sounds like he's throwing in every character he can get his hands on into the first Superman movie, and I'm just like, yeah, I don't know how that's going to work, but good luck, fellas. Sure, announce you're going to have the engineer from the Authority in there, and they'll be in there for like one scene. It'll be like, that was it, that was the hype. All right. You know, Chuck, I hear about that Rom character all the time. He's like that robot with kind of like a boxy body, right? It sure seems like people are really into that character, and I never I missed that. I don't know. I just don't get it. I never understood it, but I've never read any of it, so I can't speak on it.
Mr. Clean Magic Eraser powers through tough messes. Makes it look like
Oh, look, it's Jessica. She decided to bless us with her presence, to tear herself away from her vacation, taking her kids to ice cream shops and stuff. Jessica's just mad that I said that she was easily replaceable. She called me a son of a bitch. Sal Buscema, yeah, he was really good. Agreed on that one, Chuck. Right, D-Man? Right? Jessica, have you watched the final episode of a Shogun yet? I was just saying, I need somebody to talk to about it. Which obviously we wouldn't do here, but oh, you got to wait till you get back? Lame. I mean, I get it, but lame. Well, we will discuss it when you have the opportunity. This page looks sad. She's ripping on my artwork, guys. She's like, Rob, you've lost it all. I'm just kidding. I know that's not what she means, but. Come on, Jess. You know there was a big violent battle coming up. Well, thanks, Chuck. Thanks for joining in and having extensive conversations with us. It was very fun as always. Mr. Chuck is an early to bed, early to rise fella. Jealous. Well, thanks for stepping in, Jessica. We miss you, despite my earlier statements. Hope you're having fun. Okay, Comics, you're asking what did I think of the He-Man Thundercats crossover they made? You mean besides the one that I did? I don't know that I read it. In fact, I'm sure I did because I remember looking around, seeing some pages for it that actually looked pretty good. But I never read it in its entirety. I don't know if I even knew that they'd made it at first. I think I was real late to the game on it and just haven't actually read it. So yeah, I don't know. I haven't seen it. For anybody interested out there, I did have a good day today myself. I did a video on this book, this Ghost Agents, and I've got my pages in here that I did that are part of the book. And the first page ended up going to the Kickstarter campaign, so that first page is gone. But the remaining 5 pages, I had somebody hit me up today and buy all 5 of these pages from me at more than double what I was asking for. They were extremely generous, and it's done and paid for and everything. So somebody, for the first time in my life, wanted to buy my artwork, and I'm still kind of blown away. So I got to send off those pages to him. But that was a hell of a conversation to have this morning. I was kind of glowing all day because, again, I always undersell myself, but you know. But I made an offer, and they're like, "How about now? That's too low. How about this?" And I was like, "Oh, really? Are you sure?" We actually negotiated in reverse. I kept trying to talk him down, and he's like, "No, I'm going to pay you more than that." So, um, blew me away. Somebody bought all my pages to this, the remaining 5 pages. And in fact, we're hitting up the guy who owns this first page to see if he'd be willing to part with it to get it to the guy who's buying the other 5. So, made my day. Made my day. Like, it's the single biggest payout for anything. Like, I got paid a page rate. I'll put it this way. I got this. These guys paid me $100 per page to draw this. And I got paid more than that for the original artwork. Like, so Rob felt special for half a second. I might actually use that money to go buy myself a scanner for the first time in my life so I don't have to keep going to FedEx. I was telling him I'm not sure what I should do with the money he got me. Should I spend it on cocaine and whores or a new art scanner? It's such a hard decision to make. But coke and whores is always like a strong pull, right? Right? Anubis Lilith, well, thank you. I appreciate it. God, I'm trying to decide if I want to put some like speed lines in some of these panels to help emphasize the motion and the impact, or just leave it the way it is. I can't decide. An image editor, like on my phone kind of thing. You forget someone saying I'm a technotard. I don't know how to do any of that stuff.
GMC Sierra. It's the truck. Or get 2.9% APR for 72 months on select Sierra 1500 models. So the 7400
Jess has already dipped, someone saying. She took off. She's having fun with her family or something. I know, but I don't know how to do any of that in Photoshop. Yeah, see, I don't have it. I have an old version of Photoshop, but I don't know how to do any of that. All I know how to do in Photoshop is to like adjust the values to make the blacks super black and the whites really bright, and then zoom in and out to erase and clean things up. Do some like fades with like the opacity of the eraser tool cleaned, brought down to like 2%, and that's it. I don't know. I can tell it's this tool with a billion different things to do, and I know how to do like two things. See, D-Man, I can't do anything. Everyone knows Photoshop, but me. I was talking with Chuck earlier privately how almost everybody's moving away from traditional. And for me, it's just a reason to keep doing traditionals because no one else is. I'm not saying that I probably shouldn't learn Photoshop there, Mr. Someone saying I know it's probably just to my own detriment, but I had a funny idea, guys. Workshop this with me. Have you guys who out there seen the YouTube channel Pitch Meetings? You know that Ryan George guy that's always like doing those breakdowns of movies with writer guy and producer guy? And they're like, "So you got a new movie for me?" "Yes, sir, I do." I thought it'd be funny to do like a one-off gag of like the same thing, but like a comic book pitch meetings. But like pretend like we're pitching. I don't know what would be a funny series, and a Rob Liefeld one would be obviously kind of the funny version. Yeah, right. You know the guy, right? Someone saying, but I keep thinking of having like instead of like writer guy and producer guy. I don't know. Would it be? Wow, 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 wow. Yeah, right, right. But I don't know. Would it be like artist guy and editor guy? So editor guy's like, so you got to do comic series for me, and the artist is like, you bet your ass I do. We'll call it Youngblood. Oh, Youngblood. What's it about? He's like, I don't know. I have no idea. I really don't. Well, how are we going to sell it to the kids? With cool art, sir. Wow, 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 wow. I was driving home from work and kind of like going over all these ideas in my head of like, oh, that would be like a funny one-off to do. Like maybe I get my brother and have I'll be editor guy and my brother could be artist guy. Just write up a script. I think I know a guy who could edit it for me. Might have to throw him a few bones. Youngblood sounds tight, right? We could say stuff like Mr. Artist Guy is gonna like, I'm gonna tell all the backstory to the characters in interviews, explaining the characters. Are like, oh, then we'll read it in the comics. They're like, no, sir, it will not be in the comics at all. Oh, really? Well, how are you gonna get your how are you going to get kids to read it? He's like, oh, super easy. I'm not going to rip off the super easy, barely an inconvenience, but like an alternate version of that. One word, sir, covers. How are you going to sell it to him? Oh, it'll be simple, sir. Barely a problem. I don't know. I just think it would be funny if writing comedy's hard. So I keep thinking like, it could be so fun. So I don't know. I keep playing around with that idea in my head. I've been thinking about it all day. Thing that would suck if it was as like kind of successful, but that would have to be like I couldn't keep going because I don't want to be ripping off Ryan George. Like a one-off thing would be funny, but then if it took off, perfect. Thank you, Gate. All right. You get co-writer credit, buddy. It's super simple, hardly an effort. How do you draw a comic book without drawing back? How do you draw a comic this complex? Well, you just don't draw background, sir. Oh, I see. Then the kids love that. They love it, sir. Drawing big muscly characters with no backgrounds is tight. So I don't know. I think that would be a worthwhile endeavor to figure that out. I mean, it makes me laugh. Big muscle characters are tight. Yes, they are, sir. And then by the end, we can do that thing if you know the way that those videos go for Ryan George, um, how it always they make some comment about a thing and then it flashes to like a news article or something where it's showing like how things actually didn't go the way they thought. um we could have something like and I'll be drawing these characters until the day I die, and then have it snap to a shot of how Youngblood's now owned by somebody else. Hey Minka, man, what is up? Yeah, I've been penciling the shit out of this one, doing it a lot cleaner and tighter. I'm going to be sending this one off to Chuck. I hope he's okay with it. He-Man is getting jacked. need to be. I'm gonna need to move away from this page for a bit. Oh yeah, that's a good one right there. Someone saying it can even be like a throwaway line, like, "Well, how are we going to fund this thing?" Like, "Oh, if we need to, we can just do a Kickstarter, and we'll fund it till its completion, and everyone will be happy, right?" And then just leave it at that. Oh man, that'd be awesome. And then I don't know, it'd be funny if it like kind of took off and became like a meme or something like that. Like got some traction, went viral. I just once, I want one of my videos to go big. I might have mentioned this, but I kind of follow some other channels that do the similar things that I do, and I think I mentioned this, where there's this other channel that's got interviews with big time creators all over the place, and my views are way, way better on a consistent basis, except for this one video he did where he got like 50,000 views. I would love to know what the monetization on a video like that would be. I just want one to hit 50,000, 100,000 views and then like see what I'll take that cash. I don't know. One of these days, maybe, right? I mean, don't get me wrong. I'm not doing it for the money, but that being said, I need money like everyone else. And if it's working, why not? I do this because it's fun and entertaining to me, but it's working in a way that never should have. Oh, shit. It's raining where I'm living. That's awesome. Oh, okay. Comics. Perfect. What's in the pouches? I need to get all the way off my back about what's in the pouches. Oh, it's practically writing itself. How many comic creators have had failed crowdfunding? I don't know. Most of the big creators with an audience tend to be successful. And if you can just get your work out in front of somebody just once, like that guy that does Death of Power, that Kurt Burdick, he ever since Cartoonist Kayfabe blew up his book on their channel, he's had successful crowdfunders. He's on his fourth one. I think he said in an interview, that creator, Kurt Burdick, that Ed Piskor hit him up personally on an email and said, "Hey, buddy, get ready for your life to change. We're about to showcase your book. And, you're going to get a much bigger audience." And that guy's been just, full on to his comics ever since then. So I know, right? Someone's saying that was a good one from OK Comics. Like, it's perfect. I'm going to have to write all this down. I bet if I hit my brother up and be like, "Dude, we got to do this. I just got to," God, in fact, I know a guy who knows how to film movies and videos and stuff. Oh, I know a guy. He used to do that on the side. He couldn't make a career out of it, but he's got video cameras and editing software and everything. Oh shit, I may have just found a solution. Looks like I better start writing a script, y'all. All right, I think I got to stop working on this page. I'm just kind of like mindlessly noodling on it at this point. I could start inking. Yeah. Look at all the blue lines. Look at He-Man snapping Beastman's arm. Hell yeah. Snap that shit, He-Man. I'm actually really excited about that pitch meeting idea, guys. I'm gonna hit up my brother and my other friend and like, can we work out a thing? Ugh. Blue pencil. Oh, come on, D-man. Have the patience. Make a comic. Just draw a panel a day. Just one panel. Within a year, you'll have your comic done. Was that the choice? Someone saying the Terminator, was that the choice? I thought it was something else entirely. I'm sorry. I know I'm a bad. I like I said, I got to focus on my pages so I don't pay attention. How hard could it be to draw the term? It was really. I missed that. Now I'm kind of bummed out. Not that would have changed anything. I got to draw this damn comic. Oh, something mechanical. Okay, all right. I saw someone post up like a work in progress. It was looking really good. Mechanical stuff looks amazing and is hard as hell, right? You're just a fool and chose Terminator. Way to go. That'll teach you to be, a little wild with your ideas. Oh, you went to school for animation, D-man. That's awesome. Is it just something you decided to not pursue or just didn't work out? I mean, a career as an artist is a hard thing to do unless you like hit it big. A lifestyle as an artist is not easy. That's why you do it because you love it. One of these days, someone's saying, we're going to get you on the channel, though, right? I know you're probably sick of me bringing it up, but I'm going to pester you until you're either sick of me and you block me forever. Oh, shit. Why would it have made everyone sick? Just the way that it was hanging? Do we need to get you one of these phone holders like me and Jessica have? Well, as always, like I was saying, Gayton, as soon as you're ready and able and interested and willing, you 100% got a spot. Because I know we've got to talk once or twice, but it'd be fun to do it on the channel. I want to get Mark on. I haven't ever had a chance to like actually speak to him. That would be fun.
These might look like some delicious tacos. They've been made with cockroaches. Inspired by Amazon Prime's Fallout. Available now. I want to see whether I can rustle up some restaurant-quality grub only using insects. Today, I'll be picking up all manner of insects and other critters to make my gourmet food of the future.
Gross. Yeah, I'd have Daniel Goodwin on anytime he wants, really. It's just kind of a matter of coordinating these things when we're all over the world in different time zones. It's easy for me and Jess to get together because we live within an hour of each other. Fuck a duck. Okay, comics. You're kind of right about that. How do you do traditional animation? If you don't have patience, I mean, that's true. I think any animation is got to be a difficult prospect. D-Man, you got any like demo tapes of animation or something like that where it shows some work you've worked on? That'd be fun to see.
It ain't my dad's razor, Dad. This green bar releases trapped hairs from my face for the ultimate Gillette shave. Surface Sweeper Dry Cloths grab dust and hair and lock it away. Better than a broom. Love it or your money back.
Well, it'd be neat to see some of your animation stuff, D-Man. That'd be fun. If you ever get a chance to dig it out and share it somewheres.
Bring into savings this moving season with Pause. Save up to 25% now on moving and storage. And see why Pause has been trusted with over 6 million.
You know who did it. I hate commercials. Yeah, D-Man, I'm going to have to shut it down here in a minute. I got some stuff to do. I got to record a video for tomorrow. But I don't know. I'm kind of having fun with some of these lines that are coming out of my brush. I don't want to stop. You're still on the streets? Well, thanks for taking us to Walgreens with you. Minka, I'm just drawing on the standard 11 by 17, like kind of normal American comic book size paper. Just these Bristol board pads that you can get at art stores. Strathmore, I think it is. But yeah, 11 by 17.
The last thing your busy schedule needs is a complicated life insurance application process. Come back to PureSage.com to get a quick online quote. No long consultation required. And with
doing it like old school comic artists. Same kind of paper and same kind of tools.
This
I might need to shut this down here. I'm having fun actually, but I've got some stuff I got to do before the night gets too late. So might be getting time to shut the stream down here in just a few minutes. Just kind of been in the zone here for a minute and kind of enjoying what's been happening, so didn't want to stop, but got obligations. All right, that's it. I'm gonna cap the ink. Gonna put the lid on it. I'm gonna wash out my crappy brush that's been throwing some decent lines tonight. It's on its last leg, but it's going out with a good last hurrah. This brush isn't long for this world. I'm so hard on my brushes. That's why I don't buy good ones. I just buy cheap packs and just burn through them. So I don't get mad at myself when they're dead. Like, why did I fuck up my $30 brush? No, it's a $7 brush in a pack of 12. All right, guys, I'm going to wrap it up. It's been fun, guys. Thank you. D-Man knows I've been doing one of these once a night all week. I just been going at it. Just fuck it. Why not, right? It's been fun, but I'm going to wrap this one up. Oh, shit. Thanks, someone saying. Appreciate it. Let's get the last shot of everything.